If we have growth policies like you're describing, on energy, on drilling, on lower taxes, on deregulation, and so forth, I mean, that's going to help the dollar a lot. It would seem to me, well, let me ask you what you're thinking here. Would you want tariffs on foreign goods coming into the U.S., take those revenues and cut taxes on American goods and American families here? Would that be something in a second Trump term?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. Number one, I think we should have a ring around the collar, as they say. I think when companies come in and they dump their products in the United States, they should pay automatically, let's say, a 10% tax. That money would be used to pay off debt. It's a massive amount of money, even at 10%. It's not going to stop business because it's not that much, but it's enough that would really make a lot of money. The other thing I want to have is a matching tax where if India charges us, India is very big with tariffs.
Oh, yeah, very protectionist.
Okay, I mean, I saw it with Harley Davidson. I was saying, how do you do in a place like India? Oh, no good, sir. Why? They have 100% and 150% and 200% tariffs. So I said, so they can sell their Indian motorbike. They actually make a bike, Indian motorbike. They can sell that into our country with no tax, no tariff. But when you make a Harley, when you send it over there, because they were doing no business, I said, how come you don't do business with India? The tariff is so high that nobody wants it. But what they want us to do is they want us to go over and build a plant, and then you have no tariff. I said, well, that's not good. That's not our deal, okay? That's not our deal. And I came down very hard on them. But India is very big. Brazil is very big on tariffs. I mean, very, very big. And we had a couple of people, like the senator from a place called Pennsylvania that I love. But this guy was just horrendous. I said, let me ask you a question. If India is charging us 200% and we're charging them nothing for products, can we charge them 100%? No, sir, that's not free trade. Can we charge them 50%? No, sir. 25, 10, anything? No. I said, what the hell is wrong? There's something wrong. You know who I'm talking about.
I do.
Every single thing we tried to get through, he would try and block. So if India's charging us too, so what I want to have is a called retribution. You could call it whatever you want. If they charge us, we charge them.
Reciprocity.
You could call it anything. There's many names. You call it equalization. If they charge us, we charge them. Very simple. Now, two things will happen. One of two things. Either they'll wipe out the tax and so will we, or we'll take in a lot of money and that's okay too. But eventually what they'll do is they'll stop doing it. But we don't do that. We have countries that charge us 100 and 150 and 200%, and we charge them absolutely nothing.
We can't be paper tigers. We just can't be paper tigers.
Well, and if we do those two things, and I do like the 10% for everybody, the problem with the 10% is that some countries are much bigger abusers than others, and some, you know, China plays with the value of the yuan always, and they always create a low value. You know, they always make it weak. Now, it sounds bad to say you have it
Doing
weak.
it right now, sir, by the way. What you want is falling big time.
Do you remember I used to
now.
call them and say, you better get it up, because I used to watch it. And what that does, it's a little counterproductive. It sounds terrible for China, but they make a fortune. They make it almost impossible to compete. I speak to Caterpillar, I speak to these companies. So they lower the value of their currency, and it makes it very, very hard for American companies to compete. So what do? They go to China and they build these big plants, these massive plants, and we lose all the jobs over here. And I used to be so tough on China and other countries. And I'd say, look, if you're going to do this, we're not going to do business. We'll go cold turkey if we have to. We're not going to do business. And they always relented. They always relented.
But again, you do negotiate from a position of strength, but you are, again, it's the art of the deal. We're now talking taxes and tariffs.
Eventually, you don't have that strength because the country becomes so weak that you no longer. We have, right? We have this country that is this big power, but it's not. It's losing everything. We're losing our dignity, but we're losing that big market. It has more power when you have it rolling like we had it rolling. So it loses that power. But the tariffs are great, not only for the dollar and all of those things that we know about that you and I like and understand better than most, but it's also good for keeping us out of wars. It's good. We can do a lot of power with that. There's a lot of power. You know, Putin would have never gone into Ukraine. But that was just on my relationship with him, my personality over his. Would have never gone. I used to speak to him. It was the apple of his eye, but I said, don't ever do it. And it was, tough stuff there, but he would have never done it. But he wouldn't have done it for another reason, and maybe this is even stronger. We, with this green energy, drove up the oil price, so high, where he was getting $125 close a barrel, that he made so much money that he was able to go and prosecute the war against Ukraine. I had it down to 40. I mean, I had it down to less than zero for a period of time, for a short period of time, because it was going so wild that we had so much energy, we didn't know what to do. We filled up the reserves. He just he's now taken the reserves down lower than they've ever been in history. We have essentially none. That was meant for war, not to reduce the price of gasoline before an election. But Putin would have never, ever been able to do it because we would have been at $40, $45 a barrel. When it hit over 100, I mean, he was making money. The wars are expensive. He was making a fortune over and above the cost of the war. He would have never been able to do it. He didn't have that much money. So all of these guys, these stupid people that did what they did with energy, they made Russia very rich, and Russia was able to do something that they wouldn't have been able to do. So it would have been two reasons. Number one, he wouldn't have done it, but he would have not been able to afford it. But they made energy, they made the barrel go so much. I mean, they were way over $100 a barrel. He was making a fortune. And then if you remember, I ended the Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2 until I came along. I said, you mean Germany is getting their oil from Russia? So we're helping Germany with NATO and all of Europe? And by the way, subsidizing and all of those things, which I ended that 100%. But I said, so isn't that a weird thing? We're defending Germany from Russia, but Germany's paying Russia an absolute fortune to buy their oil and gas. So we ended a lot of things. Now, Biden came in, and then he immediately approved Nord Stream 2. I had that stopped cold. It wasn't going to happen.
I remember, and everybody was on board.
And we were going to sell them the oil. They weren't going to get it from Russia. They were going to get it from us.
Absolutely.